my name is Bridget and this is my submission for the Dugong Challenge where I'm going through the dietary habits consultation with Jamal. Hey Jamal, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Yeah, good, thank you. Thank you for booking in to come have a chat with me. I know that you mentioned in our previous meeting that improving your nutrition was important to you and your training. So I'm super excited to go through this with you. Just to clarify though, I'm not a nutritionist. So I'm more than happy to go through the Australian Guideline to Healthy Eating with you and give you some tips on healthy habits to take on board as you're going forward. To do that, what I would need to go through with you is a questionnaire. I need you to be as honest and transparent with me as you can while we're going through that so that I can get a bit of an idea of where you're at now. So just to briefly go through with you, the Australian Guideline to Healthy Eating, you've probably seen it before, but you've probably seen it in a pyramid. It used to be a pyramid, now it's shaped like a plate. So I've brought it up here on my laptop, so we'll have this as a little bit of a guide as we go through. As you can see, it's split up a little bit differently to what the pyramid used to. You've still got your sometimes food, your very little food, and the things that we'd like you to be eating on a regular basis, eating and drinking on a regular basis. Obviously you've got your carbs, fats and proteins, which is your macros, and we'll go through a bit more of a breakdown of that as we go through. Alright, so what I'll do with you is we'll start with the dietary habits questionnaire if you're ready. Alright. So I've got your name in here, Jamal, your dietary goal. I've just copied across from your previous answers, which was to lose 10 kilos in 3 months.
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, beautiful. All right, no worries. And you don't have any special dietary requirements, do you?
No.
Not vegetarian or
No.
anything like that? Not allergic?
No.
Beautiful. All right, no worries at all. So, how many serves of vegetables do you eat per day?
I don't eat a lot of vegetables. I'd say probably 2 or 3 times.
During a day?
Per day, yeah.
Yep. No worries. What about your fruit servings? So, fruit servings is obviously one, like an apple, orange, banana, but obviously one grape is not one serving of fruit, okay? So have a bit of a think for me. Any
I
fruit
only
juice?
have half a glass of juice in the morning.
Okay.
And no other sort of breakfast with it, so.
Oh, okay. Yep.
That's about it.
Yep.
So,
no worries. So I'll down 0 to 1 serves per day. Yeah. No, that's okay. How many serves of breads and cereals do you eat per day? So that's across the whole day. So you mentioned that you don't have much for breakfast.
Yes.
What about lunch and dinner?
I have about 4 to 5 servings per day.
Okay, so in your lunch?
Yeah, with my lunch and with my biscuits and stuff for my morning tea and a few beers most nights. And in my rolls at lunch.
Okay, so you have rolls for lunch?
Yes.
Yeah, do you use white bread, multigrain?
Just white bread.
Okay, yep, no worries. So, and you said 4 to 5 serves per day? All right, no worries. Servings of dairy, all right? So, obviously cheese, milk, butter, calcium, yogurt. How many would you say that you have during the day? Think of your coffees.
4 to 5.
4 to 5 serves per day?
Serves per day. I have 1 or 2 cafe lattes and some cheese with some of my meals.
Yes, yep.
And the full fat options.
Okay, yep, fair enough. No worries at all. Thank you for that. How many serves of meat or alternatives do you eat during the day? So, meat, obviously. So you've got like your lean poultry, fish, eggs, legumes or beans, tofu, almond butter.
I'd say 4 to 5 times a day.
Yeah.
Serves a day.
Yeah.
So So I have a very high serving for my dinner.
Okay. Do you cook?
Yes. No, sorry.
That's alright.
My wife does a lot of cooking.
Oh, she does all the cooking?
Yes.
No, alright, no worries. You have to get in and give her a hand.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Alright, and finally we have the sometimes foods, so our discretionary choices. So I'll get you to have a little bit of a look at the list that I have here. So ice cream, processed meat, sweet biscuits, chocolates, donuts, cakes, hot chips, wine, beer, all that sort of stuff. So you mentioned a second ago that you had a few beers during the day?
Yeah, I have a couple of beers most nights.
Okay, all right. And you said that you have a few snacks
Yeah, I have
during the day?
about 3 to 4 snacks per day.
Okay, all right. So you'd say that you have maybe 10 or more servings per week?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Definitely say so.
Yeah, all right, no worries. Well, what I'll do is I'm going to go through with you some more information on the Guide to Healthy Eating.
Yep.
And then I'll put together some strategies for you that I think will be helpful for you going forward to assist in your goal of losing the 10 kilos over 3 months. So something that you're probably aware of is the importance of a balanced diet.
Yep.
All right. So obviously, as the saying goes, you are what you eat. None of that. As much as that's not necessarily true, what you put in your body does affect. It affects everything. It affects your mood, as you know. Too much sugar and salt intake spikes your insulin levels and things like that. And then you have a low. It doesn't. Obviously, if you have really heavy meals, you don't necessarily feel as motivated to go to the gym and work out and move your body, all those sorts of things. Can also leave you feeling really sluggish and tired. Have you felt that way at all?
No. Yes. Actually, I've been feeling sort of a bit sluggish.
Yeah.
And things like that.
Yeah. Would you say that you feel that way after your snacking?
Yeah, usually after snacks and
Yes.
big meals.
After big meals? Yep. All right, thank you. So there's another saying as well that you can't out-train a bad diet. So I'm really excited that you've been really open and honest with me about what your training goal is and everything like that. And I can put together an absolute amazing program for you that sets you up to do well. But if you don't control what it is that you're putting in your body, you won't see the results.
Yep.
But you also need to, it's important to see food not as the enemy, because it does fuel your workouts and things like that. And you do need to be making sure that you eat a certain amount of fats as well as carbs and proteins throughout the day. So what I've got for you is some information, and I'd like you to keep it and take it home, but you can also access it anytime through the Australian Guideline to Healthy Eating website. It's just some information on so the recommended number of servings for adults, all right? So you can see here the recommended servings. General rule of thumb is 5 serves of vegetables and 2 serves of fruit per day.
Yeah.
All right, so you're not quite meeting those levels, which is okay because this is a starting platform. So you can see here for a gentleman aged between 51 and 70, it's got all the categories that I went through with you. So it's got vegetables, including legumes and beans, fruit, grains, meats, dairy, and your sometimes foods.
Yep.
So I'll go through what they are compared to the answers that you gave me.
Yep.
And I'll also give you some strategies on what I think we could do to improve that going forward.
Yep.
What I'll do is I'll put all this in an email for you as well. I don't expect you to retain all of it.
Yep.
So starting on the left end here, vegetables, legumes and beans. You said that you eat 2 to 3 serves per day.
Yep.
The recommended serving size of each of the for yourself is 5.5 servings per day.
Yeah.
So you mentioned that your wife does all the cooking for dinners and things like that. What I would suggest, it might be good for her, it'd probably definitely be good for her as well, is to increase your vegetable servings of a night time.
Yep.
You said that you have really high servings of meat on the dinner.
Yeah, I do.
You generally only need for a meat serving the size of your fist. Okay. The rest of your plate should be filled with the colours of the rainbow. So your vegetables, some grains, and your meats. All right.
Yep.
So we want to increase that to at least 5.5 servings per day. All right. Your fruit servings, as I mentioned, recommended fruit servings for a gentleman of your age should be 2. You've said that you drink currently half a glass of orange juice for breakfast. So I would love to see you first of all eat some breakfast. All right. Some fruit would be ideal for that. So you can just something to start your metabolism up. So if you were just going to have like a yogurt and a banana, or you could have a piece of toast with some peanut butter or almond butter and some banana on top or something like that, so that you're not feeling super bloated. Or another great way, if you don't find eating supernatural first thing in the morning, is a shake. A smoothie, something like that. Put in some bananas and some apples, some spinach and things like that. That'll boost that up first thing in the morning for you. Next one, so grains, cereals, whole grain, recommended serving per day is 6. You said that you are having 4 to 5 serves per day, including all the sandwiches and things like that that you're eating, your rolls for lunch and everything like that. So it's pretty much sitting spot on. What I would recommend is changing those rolls that you have from the white rolls to multigrain or wholemeal rolls. A small change like that will make a world of difference. All right. Lean meat, poultry, fish, such and such. You said that you have 4 to 5 serves per day. The recommended number is 2.5. So as I mentioned before when I was saying about increasing your serves of dinner and increasing your serves of vegetables, I would recommend lowering that serve of meat that you have with your dinner, and as I said, increasing those vegetables, so that'll bring that down. What you can do as well on the rolls that you have for lunch, I'm not sure what you have on them at the moment, but you can swap out some, or if you've got like hams and other meats and things like that on your sandwich, you can still be full by putting healthier alternatives in there, all right? Such as even tuna. You can have a lot more tuna than you can ham, for example, on a sandwich with your salad, all right? Milk, yogurt, cheese alternatives. You said that your dairy intake is at 4 to 5 serves per day. Recommended is 2.5 serves per day. So nothing wrong with having your coffees in the morning. Probably try to stick to 1 in the morning. I know that it can be hard. You can change your milk over. You can always try like a lighter milk, something like that, or give it plant-based milk a go. See if that's something that you can swallow. And you also mentioned that you always go full fat with your yogurts, cheeses, all that sort of stuff. I'd love to see, as I said, if you were going to start having some yogurt for breakfast with some fruit, you can just go the lighter option, if that's something you enjoy. Finally, approximate number of additional servings. So for a gentleman of your age, it should be between 0 to 2.5 a day. All right. So, and you've said that you have 10 plus serves per week. So, without trying to be too forward, having 3 beers per night is probably not super healthy. Even if you just wanted to start bringing it down to change it out to light beers, change it out to maybe 1 a night instead of 2 or 3, would be a great start. In terms of your snacking, change out some of the unhealthier snacks that you are having to your fruits. You have plenty of room to move in that regard, because to meet the 2 servings of fruit per day. Hopefully by having some of these fuller meals and by having breakfast and by having whole grain bread instead of white bread, you'll actually feel fuller for longer, so you won't have to have those snacks.
Yeah.
I also just want to make sure that you're drinking enough water during the day.
Yeah.
All right. So make sure that you're staying hydrated. That affects your sleep quality. It affects your muscle recovery. All sorts of things. All right.
Yep.
I think I remember from the screening question you said you were getting less than 7 hours of sleep
Yeah.
per night as well. So drinking enough water will help with your sleep quality. It'd be good to bump that up as well. Your sleep, by the way. You need to have enough energy during the day. What I'll also give you is a bit of a what would you call it? A bit of a cheat sheet to understanding food labels. All right. So you see this on pretty much everything that you can grab from the supermarket. It's a little nutrition information. All right. So I'll go through it with you. Some of the key things that I'd like you to have a look at when you're in the shops from now on.
Yep.
Go with your wife to the shops. Don't let her. Don't make her do all of it. All right.
Yep.
So in this case, it's saying the servings per package is 16 serves, and the serving size is 30 grams or 2/3 of a cup. So you can see here, it has the total fat percentage and the total saturated fat percentage. All right. So per serve and per 100 grams.
Yeah.
All right. So it's important to know the difference between those. It also says in there the amount of energy per day. So something that we'll go through later is your BMR, so your basal metabolic rate and your total energy expenditure, and that'll give you another a full holistic view as to the amount of food that you should be eating per day.
Yep.
And what you should be eating. It's also got obviously a list normally of ingredients, all right, and it'll tell you it'll start from the smallest by weight, all right? So you should check the first 3 ingredients for items that are high in saturated fat, sodium, salt, and added sugar.
Yep.
It's got the fibre intake, so not all labels will include fibre. Choose breads and cereals with 3 grams or more per serve. So that'll translate across to what we were saying about changing from the white bread to the whole grain.
Yep.
It's also got some sugars in there. So something to note when you're looking at this column is it may call it other things. It may call it dextrose, fructose, golden syrup, honey maple syrup, all right? Raw sugar, sucrose, all those sorts of things. Still just make sure that you're checking it, even though it may not come in that name, all right?
Yep.
So a little bit of a cheat sheet there. Package, nutrients. All right, beautiful information on ingredients list. I think that is everything. So as I said, what I will do is put all of this in an email.
Yep.
I'll keep a copy of it for myself. This doesn't go out to anybody else. It's just between you and me, and it's here if you need it, or if you want me to edit it or anything like that. Do you have any questions for me about anything that we've gone through
No.
today?
No.
No?
You explained it really well.
Thank you. Okay, so I will put all of this in an email for you, and I can also print off a hard copy. This is for you, so it's got the recommended serves and the cheat sheet of the food labels. So that's for you.
Awesome.
And let me know if you need any other information, okay?
Thank you very much.
All right, thank you.